Hey everyone, it's Eric with firearmtutorials.com, and I thought I'd give you guys a quick look at how I clean the pistons for the Tirant suppressor. They get dirty pretty quickly, and the only reason you would want to clean them is it just kind of makes swapping them in and out a little bit easier. When you have to do one of these deals to swap them out when they get pretty dirty. See, it's kind of hard to get them in and out. And that one's actually fairly clean. So this is a brand new one. I haven't actually used this one yet. This is for a American threaded 5/7/8 by 28. This is for like a 45, like a Smith & Wesson M&P, or a the FN actually is threaded in this as well. So the German guns, HKs, SIGs, stuff like that, will use the metric ones. So you'll have to know what your host barrel is threaded in and by the appropriate piston. So like I said, this is a brand new one, which looks pretty much unused. There's some marks here where it looks like it was mounted in a suppressor. I don't know if the dealer I bought it from, used it as a demo to show somebody, or if they just put them through at the factory to make sure they lock up correctly. But this is a brand new one, and let's see, this is a fairly good used one. So you'll see the difference. Kind of just got a lot of carbon buildup, and it's not too big a deal to clean. All you need is just a good wire brush. This is just a stainless steel wire brush, and a good cleaner. I'm using this nitrous solvent. It does a pretty good job of loosening up all this carbon, and it's not too bad to breathe, like some of the hops and stuff that I talked about in the other video on the cleaning agents. But it's pretty simple. All you got to do is just get it nice and wet. That's what she said. And then just start scrubbing it up. Just kind of work the brush around. Just try and take the brush bristles through to the star pattern there, because that gets a lot of buildup, and then just use a old rag or whatever to wipe it off, and there you go. You see it's cleaned up pretty nicely, especially compared to a new one. It's almost just as good. Now the inside of here is a little different. With this piston specifically, because I've been shooting cast lead bullets through it, there's a lot of buildup in here. See if I can give you a good shot of it. Get a light here. Ooh, I can smell that nitrous solvent. But there you see there's just some texture inside there, and what that is the actual lead that has adhered itself to the walls of the inside of this piston. Not a big deal. It's easiest to clean out using just a Dremel tool. I've got a video showing that in another how-to where I was cleaning the baffles, but alternatively you could use something like one of these wire brushes. You'll need something probably better than brass. You'll need like just a more abrasive, stiffer wire brush to clean that out. But if you go through with the Dremel, you'll see it in another video, just that stuff comes flying right out. Just make sure that you're using eye and ear protection for that too, because it is just pieces of lead coming right off. Now what I'm doing here is cleaning up the piston housing, which also gets just as dirty. And the more cleaner you use on these, the easier it is and less time it'll take to clean them off. So here's a good look at this. You see I've got most of there's a little bit of buildup there around the edge here, but just a quick scrub kind of took most of that stuff off. So like I said, you're going to want to make sure that you get down to the end of the piston here because a lot of the carbon builds up in here. And while you're at it, just do a quick visual inspection of the threads. I mean, if they're starting to cross thread or anything like that, you'll usually notice when you're putting it on your host weapon. But all of these have O-rings in them at different points. Some of them are really close to the edge of the piston, and some of them are further down in there, just depending on the actual barrel and the thread specifications. So the only deal with the O-rings is when you screw them on tight, they're going to screw down. The O-ring is going to make a positive engagement with the some part of the barrel, whether it's the very end of the barrel or kind of back towards where the threads start. And it just helps prevent the suppressor from unscrewing or coming loose. You know, if you're shooting enough, they're going to come loose. That's just the nature of these thread-on setups, especially if you have a reciprocating barrel, like with a you know, Glock, HK, pretty much any semi-auto handgun. They'll eventually come loose. So it's just something to keep an eye on. And usually when this thing comes, you know, even a quarter turn loose or less, and maybe even an eighth turn loose, you know, you start to notice a real POI shift. So something to be aware of. You know, if you start shooting in, you know, the first magazine, you're shooting dead on, and then second or third one, you're starting to shoot left, right, or your groups open up. That's something to check. Just make sure that it's tight, but it's usually hot at that point, so make sure that you don't just put your hand on there because it will burn your hand. As far as cleaning the inside of this and the baffles, just check out my other video that I have on that. It's a lot easier than using... You can clean them with this brush, but it'll take forever. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, you'll need, depending on what gun you want to use these with, you'll need the appropriate threaded piston for it. And you can get these online. They're usually anywhere between, you know, $50 and $70 each. I think $80, the most expensive price. And you know, that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.